Hello viewers, another beautiful day. Hope your five senses work, health and strength is good or excellent. Yep, listen to this. Microsoft ROG Xbox Ally uses almost is in parentheses, the same processor as Valve Steam Deck. Says here, this is from OC3D, it says Microsoft standard ROG Xbox Ally handheld uses an SoC that's almost identical to Valve's Steam Deck OLED. Microsoft upcoming ROG Xbox Ally handheld features AMD new Ryzen Z2A CPU. This chip has now been confirmed to be the Arith Plus, a modified version of the AMD APU found in Valve's Steam Deck handheld, while the Microsoft/Asus ROG Xbox Ally X will use a much newer, higher-end AMD SoC. Their standard ROG Xbox Ally will be very similar to the chip used in Valve's Steam Deck. It says here AMD Ryzen Z2A Arith Plus CPU features 4 AMD Zen 2 cores and a GPU with 8 AMD RDNA 2 GPU compute units. This is an identical chip used inside the Valve Steam Deck. The difference with AMD Ryzen Z2A is its TDP limit and clock speed. Valve Steam Deck supports CPU clock speed of 2.4 GHz to 3.5 with powered draw between 4 watts and 15 watts. AMD Ryzen Z2A can run its CPU at between 2.8 and 3.8 GHz with a configurable TDP of 6 to 20 watts. Then it says Rugby Rapid said this on Twitter. He said this 100-100-00000 1835 Ryzen Z2A 20 watt Arith Plus. Then he put a smiley face on it. He said the ROG Xbox Ally uses an outdated CPU, but that will drive pricing down. It says AMD Ryzen Z2A chip doesn't use AMD newest technology. AMD current Gen CPU / GPU architecture are Zen 5s and RDNA 4, not Zen 2 and RDNA 2. While the technology inside the ROG Xbox Ally is outdated, it is similar to the hardware inside the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S in terms of architecture. With Ryzen Z2A and AMD, Microsoft are likely aiming for low pricing. This chip doesn't utilize a leading edge lithograph node, and it doesn't cost, and its design costs have already been recouped. Valve original Steam Deck launched in early 2022. Note that Arith Plus is merely a refined version of the chip. If Microsoft and AMD were to design and build an entirely new CPU, it would likely cost significantly more. And then it says if Microsoft wants its Xbox ROG Ally series to be a success, it would be a good move to price their baseline model below Nintendo Switch 2 console. Note that Valve can sell a 256 gig Steam Deck for $349. That said, Asus and Microsoft will likely want higher margins than Valve. Well, if the Microsoft handheld is sell, that's the end of the article. If Microsoft sell their handheld below Steam Deck, well, I mean below the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, then the real question is now, what's the purpose of getting a Switch 2? I'm just saying. So yeah, but this chip, it's almost like the Steam Deck, but it's a modified version of AMD APU found inside the Steam Deck. And according to the comment, let's see if I can pull this comment up. Come on now, where's my mouse? Where's the mouse? Oh, come on now, where are you? There you go. You're all over the place. According to the comment, one person here said, bad decision. Using the same chip will make tech YouTubers compare and comment performance-wise. It loses out to Steam OS. Should totally avoid using the same CPU chip to avoid such negative publicity, especially for Xbox debuted entry into the handheld market. And then we got 14 comments here, and then somebody said, and then Mark said this: that's only the base model. The Ally X has double the CPU and GPU cores compared to the Steam Deck. The Z2 Extreme chip only launched this year, so it's the latest tech for the handheld. And then Mark says again, Mark said this: well, you gotta have your economy model that will probably be like $399. I'm guessing the X model will be at least $699. This move makes sense to me. And then Mark comes back again. He says, no, actually, no. Oh, that was Gary responding to Mark, and then Matt responding to Mark, and the first, and then who is this? Lionel respond to Mark. He says people using the same CPUs and GPUs is a bad decision because tech YouTubers will compare and he says comment performance-wise, and then Eric said this: so it will be outdated when released. And then who is this? He says disgusting. And then who is this? He said disgusting Microsoft. I do not care for your personal option on comments. Facts. Microsoft is the cancer of gaming industry. Ever since it entered the console market, it's cheapened the industry with its disgustingly American attitude. It's bought out studios only to ruin their games. Shut them or both support. Wait a minute. No, it was shot them or both, or shoot them, and both support the fascist, murderous state of Israel. No matter what, anything Microsoft is disgusting, polluted and covered in blood. I guess Microsoft accepts anything for payment, and its audience also has no problem paying the plastic cash for what's it, Palestine blood, whatever. Somebody always got to interject politics into this. But anyway, who is this? What did somebody says? Nah, they aren't. They killed. What he said? They killed it this year with the gaming. They bought studios, and they said, "Do you think PlayStation did? Miss me with your?" He says, "You should just quit gaming and go save Palestine. go make a difference with your passionate comment. Don't only be a talker, be a doer." And then he says, who is this? And then he says, "I think you're confusing Microsoft with American political system." Yeah, somebody always got to insert politics into video games, man. They do love their Anyway, and then someone says, blah blah blah. Go back in your cave. I'm over here buying another 12-month subscription. Anyway, man, these guys just go off in the comment section. But anyway, let's see who else we got on here. All right, that's it. So this handheld is, this Microsoft handheld is like using a like a low end version of the original. From by the looks of this, looking like it's using a low end model of the original Steam Deck version. That's what I'm getting from this. And you know, they're using AMD, you know, to market their handheld, since AMD is, you know, is in almost every handheld that you could think of. So except for Nintendo, but yeah, this is a modified version of the Steam Deck handheld, and it says here, it says will Microsoft much newer, higher AMD SoC. No, wait a minute. Xbox Ally X will use a much newer, higher end AMD SoC. Their standard ROG Xbox Ally will be very similar to the chip used in Valve's Steam Deck. So basically, I would say this is a clone. It's a clone of the Steam Deck. You could say the the Microsoft handheld is a clone of the Steam Deck. I'm just saying. So yeah, but they got a handheld on the market though. You know, you got to give it to them. You got to give it to them. The comments got me laughing, man. Comments got me laughing. Yeah. Anyway, but that's it in a nutshell, man. When you really look at this, though, you know, it says AMD Ryzen Z2A doesn't use the newest technology, and AMD current Gen CPU GPU architecture are Zen 5 and RDNA 4, not Zen 2 and RDNA 2. While the technology inside the ROG Xbox Ally is outdated, it is similar to the hardware inside Xbox Series X and Xbox Series X in terms of architecture. So basically, they're just using outdated hardware in their new handheld. You know, yeah. It was, you know what, it was kind of weird when they when the news came out first and then they pulled it back, but then all of a sudden they try to reveal it at the showcase. But now we're getting that now. It's it's the architecture is outdated. That's one, and number two, it's what it says here. It will use a modified version of the AMD APU found in Valve Steam Deck handheld. It's a modified version. Steam Deck's still a bad boy, man. And this is 64 gig model. Just saying. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy though. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, Star Wars, such a thing. Board, Dark Side. I'm gone. Peace.